Okay, greetings everyone. I am going live for episode number 2 of our four-part mini series on laxatives. As today as a colon killer. So the first episode, I did laxatives and the dangers of laxatives. And now in this episode, we're going to talk about laxatives and the fact that it can kill your colon. So I am going live on multiple platforms. I'm actually on TikTok and Facebook, YouTube, and something else. Oh, LinkedIn. And so right now I'm just trying to get my camera together. Someone asked a question during the last live, and I just want to make sure that I answer that question. But thank you for joining. And let's just get started. So first, let me just introduce myself. I'm Sage Joya, former corporate accountant, and then I transitioned into becoming a mind gut health practitioner. I've been that for the last 25 years, and I've been helping people solve the mysteries of their gut tract. And one thing that comes up often is laxatives and laxative abuse and laxative overuse. And so there's so many different changes that people go through because they're dealing with laxatives. And I know how that is. I will just briefly tell you my backstory again, that as a child, right after I received my immunizations, I became pretty sick. I suffered with immune failure, constipation, chronic constipation, yeast infections, multiple sclerosis, many different things. If you're interested in that list, all you have to do is check out my TikTok page, and I have a list of things that I was able to overcome. It's pinned to the top of the page, and how I am 30 plus years medication free, which is woohoo amazing because I don't like taking pills. So at any rate, once I received those immunizations and I started to have immune failure, then after that, I suffered with chronic constipation for years. And the doctors had me take antibiotics all the time. Studies now show that if you're taking antibiotics, you should not take them any longer than 3 months. If you're taking them longer than that, you're really going to face a lot of gut destruction. And often people think that if you've been taking a lot of antibiotics, that you cannot restore your gut microbiome, but that's not true. I'm a person that took antibiotics for years, long term, and I was able to restore my gut microbiome. So if you are that person that's taking a lot of laxatives or medication and someone's telling you you have no hope, let me tell you that's not true. Definitely follow me because I can teach you how to restore your gut microbiome and to restore the muscle movement that is inside of your gut tract that will help you to release waste material a lot better. So let's transition now into my story and why I want to do this live. When I was 5 years old, I overdosed on laxatives because I didn't fully understand what the chocolate was about. And really, it was just about, I kept thinking that I wanted a piece of chocolate, and I knew that my mother gave me chocolate occasionally, but she only gave me like a half a square. And I wasn't quite clear as to why she was only giving me a half a square. But on this day, I decided I wanted to have 3 squares of the chocolate. And little did I know that I was taking laxatives and it wasn't going to be a good result. But I have to tell you that since I was so chronically constipated, it really wasn't as bad because I didn't move. Like my colon was so stuck in that muscle movement. It didn't have any tone. So I really didn't move. I suffered a lot more of stomach pain than I did anything else. But other than that, I didn't really get the results that the average person would desire, especially because I didn't quite understand that the chocolate was for me to go to the bathroom. So let's talk about why taking laxatives can be harmful to your colon, and taking laxatives can actually kill off your colon. So, before I transition into that, I just want to say that I just posted a video about Ozempic, and a lot of people take Ozempic for diabetes and they take Ozempic for weight loss. And so recently, Ozempic is being sued because a woman actually was taking Ozempic and her colon died. Part of her colon died. So she was found unconscious by her husband and rushed to the hospital. And then they discovered that there was a section of her colon that had the tissues weren't getting enough blood and it died. And so they had to do an operation and take out a section of her colon. And now she's wearing an ileostomy bag for the rest of her life. So she's definitely suing Ozempic. But how does something like that happen? In that case, when you take Ozempic, it slows your stomach emptying. So ultimately, she wasn't getting enough signaling to her large intestine, and as a result, she wasn't getting enough blood to the tissues, and then a portion of the colon died, and that's what caused her to have an operation. And so, when you are taking laxatives, basically, if you're taking them frequently, you are beginning to teach the muscle inside of your digestive tract to not move. So ultimately, you're going to either experience an atonic colon or you're going to experience pseudo obstruction or both. So what is an atonic colon? An atonic colon is a colon that has lost its muscle tone and it no longer is responsive to propelling the waste material forward. And that can happen when you're taking laxatives all the time. And that's why it's a colon killer, because it's going to stop that muscle movement eventually. And because it keeps sending a signal to the body that I can do the work for you. So ultimately that muscle just dies off and it stops responding. And then you have a big problem on your hand, because ultimately what could eventually happen as well, that you're continuing to take the laxatives and your muscle's not moving, and then one day your muscle or your colon can stop responding to the laxatives as well. So I have worked with people like that as well, that they couldn't get a response from the laxatives, they couldn't get a response from fiber, and they could not get a response from anything like their own muscle. And so nothing helped them to go to the bathroom. So very similar to, well, not similar to pseudo obstruction, because these people really need to go to the bathroom, but they no longer have the tone. So what's the response? And so for me, as a practitioner and working with these people for over 25 years, one of the main things that I use is water to help that person to release some of that material. But what is pseudo obstruction? When you take laxatives on a regular basis, you eventually can run into pseudo obstruction. And what does that mean? That means that your colon is sending you a message that there's something in the digestive tract, in the colon tract, and you really need to release that material. However, there is nothing on the colon tract because there's just nothing to move at the time. So now with pseudo obstruction, it wreaks havoc on the mind, because you feel like there's something there and you know you need to move it, but there's nothing that is coming out. And that is one thing that can really drive people crazy. I work with a lot of medical providers as well, nurses and doctors. And one of the things that they typically say about a person that comes in from laxative abuse or they're having gut problems, they typically say that person has psychological problems, because they're thinking that one thing is happening and then it's not. But we now know that it's not so psychological. Typically, there are emotional problems that are attached to that. But at the same time, that person really is having difficulty going to the bathroom, and that person is looking for help. So you want to be careful when you're taking laxatives. I say that if you don't have to take laxatives, then don't take them. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about what are some of the alternatives that you can do to replace laxatives so you can start to restore the muscle tone that is inside of your digestive tract. Otherwise, you could run into a major problem if you haven't already. So let me just take a moment and answer the question that somebody had on the last live. She said that her son was 10 years old, and the doctor has been have been prescribing laxatives to this child for years, and the child takes laxatives all the time. And she was asking, what should she do? And the one thing I definitely like to say, but without working with the child, it's kind of hard to really give a hardcore answer. But one of the things I probably would do is stop giving the child laxatives and looking for different alternatives. Now, I'm not necessarily a fan of putting things into your mouth just so that you could go to the bathroom, especially laxatives and jars of fiber. But I will say that there are definitely some foods that you can eat that will actually help you go to the bathroom. Like, for example, beets. Beets are like amazing if you're trying to go to the bathroom. One of the things that you can do with beets is you can, because a lot of people kind of don't like beets, but beets have a natural sugar that is really helpful and it enhances the taste. So one thing that you can do is you can boil them in water for about 20 minutes, no longer, just enough water to cover the beet, and then eat the beet, and it will help you to go to the bathroom. You should go to the bathroom within 24 hours, but again, sometimes people's digestive tract is extremely slow, and so it might take a lot longer than 24 hours. But if your tract is working really well, then 24 hours is about all you need to be able to go to the bathroom when you eat beets. The other thing you can do instead of cooking them is you can shred them and you can place them on top of a salad. A salad would be excellent with the beets, and as long as you're not dousing it with a bunch of salad dressing like blue cheese salad dressing, please don't do that. If you can get maybe like an olive oil based type of salad dressing and place that on your salad, you can squeeze some lemon on top of it. And then the salad actually will cause, it's fiber, and it will actually cause some bulk that will help the colon, the muscle movement in your digestive tract, to kind of try to crunch down on it and start to propel the material forward. I like to think of salad as a form of exercise. So when you have the beet shredded on top of it, that is supportive as well in helping you to move that waste material out of the colon. Another thing that you can do is a green smoothie. Now, I know that some people like to use green smoothies, and I've seen so many videos out there where people are telling you to add a bunch of fruit to the green smoothie. But, if you have diabetes, then you definitely don't want to add too much fruit into that green smoothie, because then it's no longer a green smoothie. But the green smoothie, the green in the leaves of the greens that you're placing into your smoothie, they have chlorophyll in them. And the chlorophyll is actually really helpful for moving waste material out of the body. And it also deodorizes the body. I know a lot of people that have gut issues, they have smells inside of their body, and it's because they have too much waste material in the body. So when you take and use a green smoothie, you're getting many benefits from the chlorophyll of the leaves. And so what I like to do is I like to have maybe like 3 greens to 3 fruits, but you can try 2 greens to 2 fruits and blend it and then drink it. And that actually will add a lot more fiber into your colon tract, and it'll start to try to exercise that colon, get it to crunch down on that material. And it's liquefied, so it doesn't have to do too much crunching, but encourages the muscle to try to retone itself and to move that waste material out of the body. So those are 2 things that you can definitely try orally, and that are food-based, and it moves you away from the laxative, and it actually tries to exercise the muscle inside of the gut tract, and it'll give you some success when you're trying to move away from laxatives. And so the last thing that I want to cover is the fact that the digestive tract is actually a nervous system. So there's a lot of people that experience nervous system dysregulation, especially when they are taking a lot of laxatives. The nervous system, a lot of times people think the nervous system is just the central nervous system, but science has actually proven that the digestive tract is the second brain, and it is called the enteric nervous system. When you are taking laxatives on a regular basis, you are killing off the enteric nerves that are inside of the enteric nervous system. Those enteric nerves are actually used to support colon function. So the last thing you want to do is kill those nerves off, because then you're going to run into more problems in terms of trying to get your digestive tract, particularly your colon, to move that waste material forward and out through the anus. So the last thing you want to do is take laxatives, like I said. So one of the things that you can do to restore that function is breath work. So this is a third thing that you can add onto your plate. And I know a lot of times when people hear breath work, they're like, I'm already breathing, like I don't need to do breath work. Or they say that breath work is overrated because so many people talk about breath work. But it's not overrated, because when you breathe and you open up that diaphragm, you also open up the lumen tract that is inside of your digestive system. And it really does help to propel waste material forward. So when you breathe, you want to try the box breathing method, where they talk about you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose and you're going to hold it for 4 seconds. And then you're going to exhale through your mouth, hold it for 4 seconds, and then continue to repeat the process. So, and when you breathe, when you inhale, I want you to try. I mean, we are shallow breathers by nature because we're not practicing. I teach people how to breathe every day, so I'm a very deep breather, but you want to start just trying to get into the practice. Take in as much air as you can, but don't try to trouble your body too much, because then it's uncomfortable and it gets counterproductive. So take in as much air as you can and then exhale. And when you exhale, you're opening up that lumen tract inside of the digestive system, and it makes it easier for you to propel that waste. So when you're sitting on the toilet and you're having difficulty releasing waste material from the body, definitely please try the deep breathing. I promise you, if you get into the habit of doing it, it's actually going to work, and you'll find that your body becomes very responsive to breath work. So let's see. One of the last things that I wanted to cover is I think that was actually it for this particular live, because this is a 4-part series, and I want to make sure that I am focusing in on certain material in each episode so that you guys have takeaways. So I'm going to do the third part of this mini series at 6:30 this evening. So try to make sure that you're there. I will actually post a message on my story as a reminder. So whether you are on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok, definitely tune in at 6:30, and make sure that if you guys have questions, because I know like sometimes I miss the questions because there's a lot going on in all the screens that I'm looking at. If I happen to miss the question, then please go to YouTube and just look at one of my videos and post your question, and I'll know exactly that it's coming from the live, and I'll answer your question. If you're on TikTok, you can go to one of my videos and on my page, and you can post a question. I'll know it's coming from the live, and I promise you I will respond, because why? I'm here to serve. I'm doing these lives because I know there are tons of people that are suffering with digestive issues, and they've been taking tons of pills and trying tons of protocols, and they're not getting any results. And I've been there. It took me more than 25 years to figure out how to heal my colon. So while I was in corporate America, I was still on that journey. And once I figured it out, I quickly left corporate America and became a mind gut health practitioner, because I don't feel like anybody should have to suffer with digestive issues without answers. And I don't think it should take you 25 years to figure it out. That's why I'm here, to make sure that I give you quick approaches so that you can get the results that you're looking for in a timely manner. Because who wants to suffer with gut issues? Like, it's uncomfortable in the body. So the other thing that I want to do is I want to invite you to my 4-day challenge. It's a 4-day gut challenge where I spend 4 days with you, an hour a day, and I'm teaching you a ton of information, because the colon is an emotional organ. I have talked about that on some of the other lives that I have done, and you can check out some of that information on YouTube with some of my longs. But because the colon is so emotional, it is difficult for people to understand, how do you extract that emotion, and how do you address that emotion and excrete it from the body, in addition to the physical waste that you're dealing with. And so at the 4-day challenge, I'm teaching you, how do you identify that latent emotional data that is sitting inside of your digestive tract? How do you release it from the body safely? And then, because I'm a quantum biologist, I also teach you How do you use the environment, which is like free medicine all day long, to heal your gut? There are just tons of tools in the environment that we can employ that gives us free options for healing. Because I know for me, people do spend a significant amount of money with me, but I like to teach the free stuff as well, because I want you to combine it. Because why? Your healing is going to go much faster when you understand the quantum mechanisms that are built into your body that align with the environment that will help you to heal your body faster. So definitely click on the link in one of my bios, whichever platform you're on, and make sure that you come to the challenge. It is amazing and well worth it. Especially, you also get a chance when we're on live to ask me questions. So we're talking back and forth instead of you having to type into the chat and then maybe I don't see it or I respond later. We get a chance to have an actual dialogue at the challenge. So make sure you join the challenge. So once again, this is it for this particular episode. This is episode number 2, where we talked about laxatives as a colon killer. So join me for episode number 3. It's going to be at 6:30 p.m. today, and we'll keep moving forward as to why it's a great idea to move away from these laxatives and what steps can you take to start to get the results that you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining my live today. Make sure you follow me and on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm looking forward to serving you guys, and I'll see you at 6:30 p.m. today. Bye.